Jim, one of the things to look out for early in this game, one of these two teams is going to have a matchup problem. Will it be Jones having to play against Graves? Or is it Jones going to play Collison early in this ball game? No match there.
Graves down the lane.
I don't think Duke can get by with Jones playing Collison. That's asking an awful lot to play against a big low post player that knows how to handle a guy who's got him on his back.
Ewing, 3-point basket.
MVP of the ACC tournament. Picks up, but he's had a great stretch run here. Now it's Williams back, and it is going to be Jones on Graves. Much better.
And it's going the other way. It's going against Graves.
Yep. He set a moving screen on that play, and boy, Roy Williams, without Simeon, Jim, he is in a situation where he cannot afford to have any of his players pick up cheap fouls in that starting lineup.
It's been a big issue all season long. Simeon out with a shoulder injury, surgery tomorrow, lack of depth for Kansas.
Great hustle by Graves. It's actually beaten on the play. Young man who really worked to get himself in shape.
Steps up, gives it up.
There, Jones is back on Collison.
Langford, Graves over the top, and Jones for Duke.
Now let's see if Duke will push the ball up the floor against Kansas, something Kansas loves to do. If you're Mike Krzyzewski with a deeper bench, you want to try to wear Kansas down. Heinrich, a good job coming out on Reddick.
There's Jones, one to work on Collison. Jumper over him. Right back to Nick Collison, first team All-America, Big 12 Player of the Year.
If that's going to be the matchup for Kansas, Jones should look to go ahead and put the ball on the floor.
Graves couldn't hold it. Up to Ewing. He'll challenge Collison. And it is sent away.
Two screens called for fouls. That time Williams extending his hip and getting called for the cheap foul. Just as we saw Graves a second or so ago. Jones, Collison. What is Collison doing outside? He needs to get inside.
There's Langford coming inside. Got Duhan to leave his feet, and he connects.
Well, who will ever forget the great start that Langford had in the Arizona game? 20 first half points. Lit everything up. That game seemed like it was over. And all of a sudden, Lawrence, Kansas had to go the other way.
Reddick over the top of the backboard. That was back in January 26th at Allen Fieldhouse, and 44-24 in the first half. Kansas, a 37-point turnaround as Arizona would win it by 17.
Duhan on Heinrich.
Langford has that swatted away by Williams.
Nice soft touch by Williams, not to bat it out of bounds. Keep it alive for his teammate.
Inside, Williams on the blocks, and he too sees it slip out of his hands.
Well, we saw Graves with an easy dunk opportunity that slipped out, and now Williams does likewise.
Miles drives.
Charge.
Right into Sheldon Williams.
There's a case where Miles has got to realize when he's open like that to put it up. Now here we see right away Duke going to Casey Sanders. Now he played in that game against Kansas back in Winston-Salem. Did not score a rebound.
Yep.
But an experienced player, good shot blocker.
Horvath was there that day too. Horvath with the back spasms for Duke, and he may not be able to play here tonight.
You see the game is being called relatively close. If you're Roy Williams, and here's what Roy recognizes as well. He's going to go to his bench because if the game's going to be called close, he's got to utilize that bench early.
Saw Horvath for a second there. That's the second foul on Graves. Just what they were hoping to avoid.
Duke is very good at running their out-of-bounds plays for scores, particularly against teams that play man-to-man.
Count the basket for Dante Jones.
Nash has got to respect now that Jones looks for that outside shot.
Miles over the back on Nash, just into the game. Bryant Nash.
So far, Duke doing a good job preventing Kansas from pushing the ball up the floor. Heinrich doing a good job for Kansas, not giving Reddick any good open looks. Heinrich probably comes around screens as well as anybody in the country defensively. Example.
Reddick steps in. Sanders. Thanks to Reddick.
You can see right away Duke is going to challenge Kansas and try to get them in foul trouble. Just what Roy Williams said at the top of the show he does not want his team to do.
And a block foul called on Dante Jones.
Nice passing by Reddick inside. Casey Sanders, who has suspect hands, really concentrated on that one, Jim. And again, you start talking about senior experience. He never makes that catch 2 years ago. Duke playing a little zone here on the out-of-bounds situation. 2-3, Sanders down inside.
Thomason in the middle open. Too strong with the shot. Langford. Ooh, that looked like basket interference.
Yeah, I think that ball was in the cylinder. Mike Krzyzewski did as well. No call. Straight man-to-man by Kansas in this game. Dangerous pass.
Heinrich almost got there. Reddick working on him.
Heinrich has great feet. Very quick on defense. And he's doing a lot of talking to Reddick right now. Senior against freshman, trying to wear him down mentally.
Duhon comes inside. Tipped around by Collison. Up ahead, Langford.
Nice recovery there. I thought he'd have to have steps.
Miles free. Had an open shot, tried to go inside. Billy, the biggest development here at the start is that Graves is on the bench with 2 fouls.
Jim, so far this year he's fouled out of 5 games. In 10 others he had 4 fouls. Now we're talking about losing a guy who has 9 games in which he's had double-figure rebounds. So a big loss for Kansas early in this ball game. Duke stays in the zone on the out-of-bounds situation. 2-3, Collison, nothing there.
And Sanders read it all the way. Up ahead, Ewing for 2.
Beautiful hit-ahead pass. Sanders, a guy who filled in when Boozer was hurt for Duke on their quest for the national championship, and did so perfectly.
Started the title game in 2001. Casey Sanders.
And he's on Collison. And there's where Mike Krzyzewski has the ability, even if Sanders gets in foul trouble, it won't hurt Duke.
Langford will head to the line as Duke clobbered him on the way in. Called on Sanders. He's first.
Probably Ewing would have been smart to allow Sanders to block that shot. Sanders, a terrific shot blocker. It's way up in the air. It's amazing. He had 26 triple doubles as a high school senior.
We had 19 blocks one time in a game.
A lot was expected of him when he came to Duke. Probably hasn't been everything that was expected of him, but he's shown good leadership this year. And when he gets the opportunity to play, he produces.
I remember when we were down in St. Petersburg for that thrilling Kentucky-Duke regional final where Kentucky mounted that 17-point comeback in the second half. Casey, a Tampa kid, was there, having already committed. That was his senior year in high school. Having committed to Duke, first time we saw him. Again, later a starter in the championship game. Did not start tonight. Late in the season, they put Ewing in the lineup and Sanders off the bench.
Good defense by Nash on Jones. Jones underestimated Nash's ability to go up in the air.
That's Michael Lee running through there, number 25 for Kansas, seeing his first action. Langford, open 3.
That shot.
Tipped up and in.
Nash again showing he can go in the air. And right now what we have seen, because of the fouls on Graves, Roy Williams is forced to play small, and basically he is now matching up Duke.
Reddick off the screen. Tries the pass to Sanders. Again, his hands always been suspect. And it's Heinrich driving.
And a charge.
Ooh, that's the second time they've gotten a charge at that end.
And you can tell well scouted is Duke, because Kansas loves to finish, particularly Heinrich. So don't go for the block. Get in position to draw the charge. Heinrich will take it to the basket. He may have hurt his wrist a little bit out there, Jim.
Yeah, he's trying to disguise it a little bit. That's the first foul.
First team all-conference player. Had a tremendous career at Kansas.
Sean Dockery, freshman for Duke.
This is a very deep Duke lineup. They've had 10 different starting lineups this year. And they are so young, a lot of those times early in the year, Mike Krzyzewski just trying to figure out what could be a combination.
Ewing. Inside Sheldon Williams.
There's a freshman from Oklahoma starting to pick up his game as the year goes on. Much better matchup for Duke right now. Two big guys in the game.
Nash lost control of it, making the spin move.
Duhan, good heads-up dribble.
Heinrich tried to get the charge at the other end. Where did you think this game would be tonight? In the 70s, the 80s? What do you say?
I thought it was going to be in the high 80s. There's Williams again using that brute strength of his. Not really good footwork, but he's got a lot of strength.
Off Kansas, Reddick returns. So does Dante Jones. Sanders out, and Daniel Ewing with a breather.
Jim, Williams did not get a lot of playing time in mid-year. All of a sudden has come on the scene. He now has 6 double-doubles. His biggest scoring game, 20 against Virginia.
It's almost averaged a double-double the last month. That block by Collison is second of the night.
Coming over from the weak side, knowing how Jones can elevate, that was quite a block.
Lee kicks out. Langford spins off the rim. Look at Reddick with the one arm.
Right now, Duke a lot fresher.
Dockery, freshman from Chicago, with a 3.
And if you're Kansas, I think you need to slow this game down a little bit and get Collison the ball in the low post and let him operate.
Now they're going to call it on Williams. His second.
That's
with
a
the body.
freshman foul.
Kansas down 15-9. Meanwhile, Kentucky pushed to the end by Wisconsin. 6-point Wildcat victory. Bogans with an ankle sprain.
Well, I certainly hope there's a senior that has really devoted his entire senior year to make that a great team. We certainly hope that he gets able to play.
Heinrich off that time, chased down by Jones.
So far, Kansas is completely out of sync in regard to their half-court offense.
Look out here. Boy, Reddick doesn't usually miss that open shot.
Very seldom misses the rim on that shot.
Yeah, that's right.
You give him that kind of look.
Usually all nylon. He'll try. Whoop. Fake me out. He's not afraid to go long distance.
No, his range is about 30 feet. Williams Graves with 2 now.
Oh, there's no one there. He had a double team.
Smart play that time by Collison.
Collison cutting in.
Nice.
Gives it up. Graves back in the game with the dunk.
When Collison is down in the low post, Duke is going to have a hard time handling him, and he really needs to stay down in there. A big move by Roy Williams, seeing his team down, having to go back with Graves, even though he's got 2 fouls on him. Roy did not want to see this game get away from his team early.
Drives on Miles, spins, gives it up. Williams, Collison again. He's got 3 blocks.
And again, Williams, without the good footwork, unable to put that shot away.
Well, they'd love to try to get Williams in there and get that 3rd foul on Graves. Little switch off, 1 on the shot clock, but it's a takeaway in time. Continuous play. Heinrich short on that one.
Good tap out.
Bounce pass inside. Collison puts it away.
He is money in the bank, Jim, when he's down in the low post. He's got great footwork, excellent hands, knows how to position himself inside better than any other low post player in college basketball.
4 points, 4 rebounds, 3 blocks for Collison. Jones working on him now. And last touch by Kansas. And those just rejoining us, a big development here, and Jeff Graves has been whistled for his 3rd foul at the 9:59 mark of the first half. Bryant Nash comes back on the floor. Sanders hits 1 of 2 for a 3-point Duke lead,
which is about his average, 45% from the foul line. And let's see what Duke is going to do. They're mixed up on their defensive assignments right now.
Lee whips it around. Nash gets the feet set. And Duke with the rebound. How big a development is that?
Oh, it really is, because it really takes away what Roy Williams can do with Graves certainly not available for any more of this first half. It means Collison probably going to have to stay on the floor for 40 minutes tonight. Lee and Heinrich doing a good job getting out on Reddick.
There's Duhan with the three. Bangs it home, 6-point lead.
That's really a key for Duhan to get confidence. Remember the Southern Cal game in Philadelphia. Boy, Sanders way up on the boards. 2 men down for Duke.
Ewing outside Reddick, top of the key, and 3 more.
And Roy Williams is going to have to come back in with Heinrich. Collison understanding he wants that ball down and low. Sanders is on him.
Kansas down 9. One of its starters on the bench with 3 fouls. Almost stolen away again. Lee off on the jumper. Collison working inside, and he is fouled by Ewing.
It was worth a foul there, though, Jim, because Collison had an easy 2.
Now 9-point lead for Duke, as Graves sits with 3 fouls, and all 5 Duke starters have scored. They've hit 5 out of 7 from 3.
Jim, we don't see great shooting in both of these teams coming off. As a matter of fact, Kansas coming off a 40-for-59 game, 67.8%, which is a new Kansas record in the NCAA tournament in their win over Arizona State. And Duke coming off a game where they shot 61% against Central Michigan. Heinrich back in. Roy Williams just trying to steal some minutes here with Lee.
Kansas was really threatened in its opening round game. Utah State had a 3 to tie to send it to overtime at the end. Bounced off the rim, but then Arizona State and the full muscle of the Jayhawks came out on that one.
Now look at this, a little picking up almost half court. Collison on Sanders. Sanders with a good solid screen for Duhan.
Reddick steps back for the 3. And Langford.
He had to fade away on that shot. Good recovery by Heinrich.
Langford will drive in. They're going to count the basket. Foul on Casey Sanders, and they count it.
This is a good drive by Langford. Everybody playing him to go left. Now there's where a scouting report. You know, I don't really think that should be on Sanders. That should have been on Jones, is it? He reached in on it.
It is on Jones.
Yeah. But one of the things, you know, you scout, you say this man is all left hand. Langford changes up and goes right with the dribble, giving him the left-hand layup. Nice move.
The second on Jones.
Langford this year, we talked about that Arizona game. He was 11 for 19 at 27. That was his high for the year. He had 20 against Texas Tech in a win.
So a little 5-point flurry here by Kansas after being down 9 a moment ago.
Duke goes 1-4. Reddick tries to flare out, but Heinrich recognizes the play. Notice when Reddick catches the ball, he gets his feet squared up to get ready for that jump shot.
He squares him up quickly, too. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Doesn't matter. They got plenty of time away. Jones had a good look.
Excellent positioning by Collison on the rebound.
Miles pull-up jumper. And it's Duhan for Duke.
See, Duke would rather get in the run game. Collison's being asked to go up and down the floor.
Sanders gets it out to Jones.
Jones should have taken the first shot, don't you think?
Yeah, Sanders inside could have taken one, too.
Collison open.
Back to the rim. Doesn't miss that very often.
You see Sanders is very tired right now. Mike Krzyzewski's not giving him any look. Sanders not used to playing this many consecutive minutes. The assistant coaches over there are probably, Johnny Dawkins telling Mike Krzyzewski right now, we need to make a break there and get Sanders out. Bad shot.
Ewing. Under 7 minutes to play and far lower scoring than you ever thought, Billy.
Oh, yes, I expected this game to be played up in the 80s.
Heinrich trying to go back door, right all the way. Jones, perfect pass. Ewing.
Better than perfect, huh?
Oh.
Right, that was the only place that ball could be thrown. Nice catch by Ewing, understanding he's got to catch it before he makes the play. And again, Kansas not giving Collison the ball in the low post enough.
Collison with the left hand. Very nice.
But Sanders is so tired, he can't breathe. But Mike Krzyzewski, he's got Williams on the sideline. Would love to see some kind of stop here to give Sanders a break.
Looking for a whistle.
Yeah, Sanders is so tired he can hardly stand up.
Sean Dockery's gone over to the scorer's table to check in also.
Wow, I thought Duhan was going to throw one up from 30 feet.
Yeah, it was more than that. Timeout called by Duhan.
Smart play. Rather than throw it away, Miles was doing a good job on defense. Kansas came back in '88. Danny Manning leading them over Duke.
That's the only time Kansas has beaten Duke. There's Ewing with a three.
Boy, they really have some weapons on the outside now that Ewing's been moved into that starting lineup.
The Blue Devils with a 6-1 advantage all time over Kansas. And again, that one Kansas win was in the '88 Final Four. They got Sanders back out on the floor.
They gave him the timeout. They went over there and put him on the respirator. And he's back out there now playing some solid defense.
And knocked it out of bounds. And an official timeout.
And establishing records in regard to wins in the NCAA tournament percentage that nobody's topped.
Well, they're 60-15 is his all-time record in the NCAA tournament. It really is. 3 national championships, 9 Final Fours.
There's Collison showing his ability. Nice work by
Sheldon Williams.
Inside, yeah.
Hanging with him. Heinrich, they didn't beat the shot clock.
I don't think Heinrich realized where he was on that shot clock possession. Very good defense by Duke, particularly Williams staying on the ground against Collison.
Heinrich is scoreless. He's attempted 2 shots.
Right now you have Kansas shooting under 35%. The last time they did that was against Missouri in that loss in the Big 12 semifinals. Since that time they've been shooting blistering paces over 55%, but not getting it done so far in this first half.
It's the 2 games since being knocked out of the Big 12. Utah State, Arizona State tournament wins. They've got 7 here. Duke on the shot clock. Oh, Dockery slipped.
Had that ball in his hands much too long.
Langford cutting in. Front of the rim. Put back quickly, Collison.
Good quick hands by Collison. There's a case where Dockery and Ewing wanted to know why he did not break much quicker. And Duhan takes the ball back from Dockery. Dockery had no business occupying that ball for about 10 seconds with a dribble.
Collison 10 points, 7 rebounds.
Every phase of Collison's game is solid in the gym. He catches the ball well. He's got great footwork offensively.
Rebounds, block shots.
Yep. Has learned how to stay out of foul trouble, which really was a problem for him before.
Tough pass. Ewing tried to force it in.
Numbers.
Here comes Kansas on the break, and Lee lays it in. Fast break basket by the Jayhawks. 27-24 Duke, which has led most of the way. Largest lead here of 9. Duhan wanting to challenge Miles. High off the glass. Wow.
And here you see Kansas trying to push that ball up the floor.
And Lee, open jumper.
Nice.
He canned 10 points in the second round win against Arizona State.
Nice adjustment defensively by Kansas on that out-of-bounds situation.
Dante Jones.
Boy, when you elevate with your legs like that, it really sets up the shot. Terrific mid-range jumper. There's Collison in a position that doesn't help his team out there. I realize that's their offense, but this is where he's effective.
He'll shift inside, find Langford cutting through. Another assist for Collison.
He is so effective when he gets anywhere near that paint. And the pace of this game basically helping Kansas a little bit too, though, Jim, because they are not having to run up and down the floor.
Miles running up the floor right now. Cut off by Duhan.
Collison in position.
Sanders on his back. Tipped up and in by Langford. He got the position on Ewing.
He sure did. Inside position. Nice comeback by Kansas.
Brought it down to 1. It was 9.
Roy Williams on that sideline, urging his team. He's like a jockey over there. No, that's not a good play. You got to consider who's trying to be the catcher. Sanders isn't going to make that play.
Duhan forced it inside, but here he reaches in for the steal. So Duhan tones for the mistake. Ewing, and it's a charge.
Every time these referees have been consistent on that play. Got to pull up and take the little jumper.
Coming up, singular at the half with Greg Clark and Quinn Snyder, Missouri coach, who's with us in the studio. We'll get you updated on all the latest tournament news and a live look at Marquette Pittsburgh coming up on singular at the half. That's the 10th Duke turnover.
Well, a team that turns the ball over more than they have assists, Jim, on the year. A sign of their immaturity as a basketball team, so not surprising. There's a solid back screen by Heinrich to get Collison in the low post again.
Collison for the lead, and Kansas has fought it all the way back.
Terrific move, getting Collison down in the low post, and again, by keeping this into a half-court game, which is not normally Kansas's game, it is really helping them stay fresh.
It's a 19-9 spell here for the Jayhawks. Jones with a three, right back. Just had a lead change here. Collison gave Kansas the lead from 9 down to move in front, but at the other end, the three-point basket by Jones has Duke ahead. Final minute of the first half in Anaheim.
Time for Kansas to be patient and get that ball down inside of Collison again.
Heinrich, who hasn't scored, gives it up. Collison blocked by Sanders. Miles left open. Rattles it home.
Again, the great hands by Collison to retrieve the block shot. This is a terrific accomplishment by Kansas to be staying this game with Graves out of that lineup for most of the first half with the 3 fouls.
Ewing, and again Collison climbs and rejects, but a foul called here on Lee.
Daniel Ewing, an excellent free throw shooter, 83%.
Let's take a look at the Pontiac high performance of the day. That's still of Kentucky.
Well, he had to have it too with Bogans out. Hopefully, as we said before, that ankle sprain is not that severe.
For more great performances as they happen, go to ncaasports.com. Oh, 2 shots.
Ewing, who had the incredible 11 for 16, 5 of 7 threes, 32 points in the win over Virginia to start things going towards his MVP award in the ACC tournament this year. How about, Jim, Duke University in the ACC tournament has won the last 5.
It's amazing. First time ever.
You're talking about
ever accomplished that.
15-0 the last 5 years in a tournament that's that competitive and a one-and-done situation. Surprising miss by Ewing.
Lee Melchione has come in for the Blue Devils here in the final 20 seconds. Timeout called by Roy Williams in Kansas. Saw Reddick there for a moment, 1 of 6 from the field.
Heinrich should come out of this double screen down in low looking for the shot.
He's in the left corner with 8 seconds. Miles out high, Melchione on him. Collison. Casey Sanders says, no thank you.
Wow, that clock kept moving right there. I'm kind of surprised. A few tenths of a second. Roy Williams asking about it as well. I think Roy's right.
3 seconds in the half. Heinrich to inbound. Needs some help. Collison, Dockery almost fouled him. Heinrich beats the buzzer. Count.
And they capitalized that also about Collison. Said he drove on us a couple times, and we want to stay in front of him and make sure he can't do that in the second half.
All right, thank you, Bonnie. The bench production in that first half was even as well, Billy, which is a little bit of a surprise.
Shocking in the fact that Duke averages 22 points off the bench. Kansas only 11, and there's Williams trying to go right inside. Now Graves has got to really think out there in this second half.
Collison goes inside to Graves, and the quick hands of Ewing.
That was a good pass. Graves should have blocked out.
Reddick for a quick 5-point lead.
2 open looks for Reddick today that he very seldom will miss.
Heinrich
got fouled on the arm.
To the corner. Perhaps on the board. Nope. Still hasn't scored.
Heinrich has to keep putting the shots up.
All there for Langford.
Jim, when you're a senior, you're having a game like this, you've got to fight through it, keep putting up shots. Now, he's holding his wrist. Remember in the first half when he really banged it? He's holding it right now like it's really in some pain.
Jones, 3-point shot.
That's a tough matchup for Collison to have to go out on Jones.
Duke has made 8 threes on the game. Kansas only 1. Block foul called on the Blue Devils. And Dante Jones is back on his feet.
Down just for a second. Jones, as we said, fifth-year senior, transferred from Rutgers, basically out of his friendship with Jason Williams. Sat out 1 year at Duke and has played extremely well since. Nice inbounds pass.
Ewing got a hand in there, but Reddick from behind.
So often, Jim, in this tournament, we have seen teams get whipped on out-of-bounds plays that go immediately to an easy 2 points. So many times the players are not seeing both the inbounder and the man they're guarding.
And that's one thing you practice and try to prevent more than anything.
Oh, how many times do we see in practice coaches going over the opponent's out-of-bounds plays? And it's, you know, you're giving up such an easy 2 when you're not there. A long rebound.
It's Reddick for Duke.
It's Graves and Williams. And Graves has got to stay out of foul trouble anymore. He's got 3, and they're going right to Williams.
Williams trying to challenge, picks up his dribble. Maybe they'll come back in. Jones driving Collison. Spins and gets.
That's a tough matchup. Collison just not quick enough to stay with Jones, and Jones realizing put that ball on the floor.
Pass was wide for Graves.
Graves never moved for it, and I think Roy Williams is going to say Graves is not our man anyway. He's played better with a smaller lineup.
That's what he said in the interview with Bonnie. And Ewing with the soft roll.
It's an important possession for Kansas right here.
Heinrich.
Another long rebound, what Mike Krzyzewski was talking about, not getting the defensive boards.
A 9-1 start to the half for the Blue Devils. Collison underneath. Jones fell to the floor. Easy putback for Collison.
I think that Collison basically one-armed him there.
Yeah.
Dante's a pretty strong fella. Shows you what Collison can do. Collison, of course, played last year in the World Championships, the only collegiate player on that team.
Off Duke. Nash coming back in for Kansas. Sanders for Duke. Daniel Ewing.
On a tear, has played extremely well in this small lineup that Duke has, playing with 3 guards. Now the matchup, Sanders, who had a very good defensive first half.
Ewing with 13 on the night. Langford step to the hole, and he'll go to the line.
Langford now starting to pick up the offense, noting that Heinrich has not been able to get anything going, and realize a lot of pressure on him here. He beats Reddick. No question about the foul, and a very good finish.
2 fouls on J.J. Reddick. Langford out of Fort Worth, Texas, to the line.
So honorable mention all Big 12 this year, and as great as that league was with not only outstanding teams but good players, that's quite an accomplishment. Reddick understands what's going on, comes back to help out. Collison can afford to help out because Sanders is primarily in there offensively to be a screener and to get some offensive rebounds.
Jones over Nash. He wanted to challenge him. Collison underneath, controlling the boards.
Nash has done a nice job on Jones.
Miles tipped up and in by Nash.
And Jones not getting the job done defensively. That was Nash for the second time getting to the offensive boards because Dante Jones didn't hustle.
The lead was 8 just a few minutes ago. Kansas had a couple of misses, but offensive rebounds kept the possession alive. That proves to be rather large right now as the Jayhawks are back within 1. May sound a little silent right now, but the excitement is perking up here in the second half at the Pond. Duke jumped right out of the tie at halftime with a 9-1 start to the half. Kansas with a little stretch of its own here to cut it to 1. Here's the jumper by Jones. Loose ball picked up. Duhan. Nice push, they say, by Kansas, by Miles.
We'll see what happens on this tip-in. Dante Jones is outside just standing there, and look at what happens. Nash goes right on by him. Jones still out about the foul line. Breakdown in concentration.
Looking for the easy inbound, wasn't there. Duhan tripped out and around. That looked like it touched Langford last.
Nice catch there, partner.
Well, I was about to go in the layup. mode there.
And here you can see Nash coming in. Look at where Jones is. He didn't block out at all and got beat for an easy 2. Kansas picking things up here.
Kansas with the lead with Collison.
Nice job by Roy Williams going small, getting Graves out of the lineup, making the adjustment to say, okay, Duke, I'll match you up with a small lineup, and it's been effective.
Jayhawks have led for a total of 2 minutes tonight. Sanders, and he was held outside by Miles. Court. And here's Duke. Seen a little 9-0 run here by Kansas.
Duhan with a good decision, realizing that Sanders was breaking away. Jones, who likes the sky.
Nash almost saved it too. He's giving them some valuable time from the minutes he's taken Graves out with the 3 fouls.
He really hasn't gotten that much time, but very productive. As an example, he was 7 for 7 against Texas Tech, while Redick with 3 open looks tonight did not hit them. He's 1 for 8. He and Heinrich, 2 fellows you'd expect to put up some points tonight, really having tough ball games.
Langford, Sanders got a piece on it, and they're going to say it was a jump ball. When Sanders reached in, Jim Burr, the official, is saying the ball was tied up.
I don't agree with the call. I think that was all in the shot, and that ball is going to go back to Kansas. It was barely touched.
Well, the arrow belonging to the Jayhawks, thus they keep it.
Duke on the out of bounds. Let's see if Collison gets any action here.
It's going outside this time. Michael Lee.
Duke stays in the zone. Collison was looking for the lob pass from Heinrich. He doesn't get it.
10 on the shot clock.
There's Duke still matching up in the 2-3 zone.
They got beat on this one time with a shot clock violation. Heinrich
lost
control of it going in, but it's Collison in the right place. Sanders rejects shot clock violation.
Boy, how did Heinrich keep that ball alive? He is really being bothered by that right wrist. There's Collison going up, and Sanders doing an excellent job. Just as we talked about Nash doing a fine job off the bench, so is Casey Sanders.
And in the college game, you can block it right off the glass.
Absolutely, you can pin it.
Hey, Casey Sanders is playing with fierce determination here tonight, senior.
Langford staying down on Ewing.
Casey needing some help. Duhan there. 10 on the shot clock. Gets by the Jayhawks.
Beautiful job by Duhan. First of all, to rescue Sanders and then put it on the floor. He goes right by Heinrich.
And away from the ball, Casey Sanders tied up with Collison.
Realizing he had no help in there. And there you see Duhan putting it. Look at Heinrich not moving his feet, being out of position right there. Not having the offensive game, but he sure could be playing a little better defense. Duhan beats him with a left-hand dribble.
That Duke basket, the first in 3.5 minutes for the Devils. Collison, left hand again.
Collison showing that he can put that ball on the floor as well as play with his back to the basket in the low post.
19 on the night, and the lead goes back to Kansas.
And Duke not getting much going from the three-point line here in the second half, Jim. Kansas doing a much better job stepping out. Dante wanted to go baseline. You can see that coming.
Found a man in the corner. On the baseline, block foul called on Langford.
Dockery not looking to take that outside jump shot, so you've got to play him to drive. First on Langford. You know, in the heat of the battle, players sometimes forget the scouting reports. There was an example. Dockery will always pump fake and drive. He's not going to take that outside jumper.
Marquette and Pittsburgh. How about that performance by Marquette so far? Inside Duhan. And they say last touch by Kansas. Jayhawks saw it the other way.
Now Duhan looked like he, for the second time tonight, Jim, was going to pull up and take a 30-foot jump shot. Thought better of it on the pass. That was fortunate. It was touched by Kansas.
Bodies tangled. Jones takes advantage. Hits the three. His defender was down. Nash was down.
Here comes Heinrich. See if he can get something started offensively. Nice hedge move that time on the switch by Jones.
Langford in the paint. And a timeout called by Kansas. pick up that story in just a moment as the Jayhawks have 17 here on the shot clock.
Back
Down
to the 2-3 zone is Duke, and you see Casey Sanders even getting out of the zone to make sure that Collison doesn't touch the ball. It's almost playing a man-to-man.
5 on the shot clock. Lee, Collison way out. Back to the rim, pull down Sanders.
Nice rebound, a terrific defensive sequence by Casey Sanders, the senior that's really coming in with valuable minutes for this Duke team.
3 is off, Lee underneath.
Nobody under that time.
Oh, and Duhon was there. They called it on Heinrich.
That was a very smart play by Duhon. He anticipated what was going to happen, got himself an excellent position.
There's Mrs. Holiday, and to finish that story, they have been watching, as so many of us have, just the nonstop coverage. And today, the Holidays saw some footage of that 173rd Airborne, and they thought they saw their son in some of the videos sent back. They weren't sure if his son, he's in that 173rd Airborne Brigade, they weren't sure if he was one of the 1,000, but today they're just certain they saw him in some of the footage that came back. You can imagine, I can't imagine what this day is like for them.
There's
Puts this game in perspective, though, doesn't it, Billy?
Sure does.
There's Heinrich pulling up 2.
Finally 2 for Heinrich, but Reddick is now 1 for 9. You're talking about a guy that lights it up.
Jones inside, and he felt the presence of Collison.
Graves back into the ball game now. Roy Williams just trying to give a rest for Nash.
Graves thought about going inside. Collison has Jones on his back. Way outside. And he stepped out on the line.
That was a bad pass by Lee. Neither one having the kind of game you'd want to write home about. Reddick is 1 for 9. He's 1 for 8 from 3. We know what a great pure shooter he is, but not getting it done tonight. And Heinrich just had his first 2 of the game. Duke looking to go back inside a little bit. Williams setting some solid screens.
Here's Reddick working inside on Lee. And able to muscle it in. First field goal for Reddick since 9-minute mark first half. It's only second made shot of the day. J.J. Reddick has just given Duke the lead. It's a tie game at halftime here in Anaheim. Collison ties at 51.
Beautiful job that time by Graves, who's had his problems today because of foul trouble. But a good look inside. Collison always moving. Collison's played almost a perfect game, Jim, in terms of passing, his defensive work, his rebounding, good shot selection. Duke loves to throw that pass underneath the basket cross court.
Look at this. Wow, Duhon.
He is looking much more positive, wanting to take his shot. Mid-season, he had problems with that outside shot. Very unsure of himself.
Well, he threatened to take a couple of long ones earlier. Graves.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty nifty there.
2 outstanding plays by Graves, and that brings Casey Sanders up off the bench.
You look at the Duke substitutions tonight, and short is Ewing. Collison pulls away. Miles gonna have to wait for the rest of his team. Well, yep, he'll settle down here.
Good decision.
Collison cutting through. He'll go to the line. Collison blocking shots, pulling down rebounds, assists, or leading score. What a game.
Well, we talked about if you're going to pick a National Player of the Year, this guy is as good a candidate as anybody. And here you show tonight every phase of the game. He's put the ball on the floor, defended extremely well, great rebounding, some nice shot blocks.
All right, Bonnie Bernstein, what do you have?
Jim, it's interesting because Coach K can't speak highly enough about Nick Collison. He actually recruited him. They kind of got into a recruiting war, and Collison decided to go in Kansas in large part because it was closer to home, but he considers Collison one of the best players in the country. He says he's so versatile, and with his footwork, he's so great at not just moving up and down, but moving laterally, and he says a lot of big guys can't do that.
We're seeing that tonight. He has tied the game with 1 of 2 free throws, and Duhon lost it out of bounds.
That was another good play by Graves. He's really playing his best basketball of the night. defensively and offensively.
We were tied at halftime. We're tied now as we enter the backside of the second half.
Nice play by Duhan defensively.
Collison, tough pass, trying to find Graves.
Graves could have stepped into that ball. I think Collison had the right idea. Graves just needs a little more experience. The junior college transfer who had to lose 30 pounds after that automobile accident. And there was a time when Kansas didn't think he could be a factor this year. And again, Reddick.
Look at Jones almost steal it right out of the hands of Collison.
Now Reddick now 1 for 10. His problem is he's pressing, taking probably a bad shot there, Jim. When you're having a night like he's having, you want that good look.
Collison lobbing it inside. Langford. Casey Sanders slaps it away. Up ahead, it's Ewing. He's got Jones to the left.
Jones almost misjudged that lead. That ball hit the rim on the way up.
The dunk by Dante Jones gives Duke the lead back. Jones with 18 on the game, 10 in the second half. It's been a tight one throughout here in Anaheim. Good passing. Heinrich open. He's having a tough night from the field.
Duke looking to push. You got to wonder when Collison's going to wear down a little bit.
Ewing. Graves with the box out.
Collison just running. There he goes, beating his man down the floor.
And he ties it at 56.
He is showing a lot of courage out here tonight. A lot of guts.
24 for Collison.
He has not come out of the game, has he?
I think he's gone the whole way, Billy.
Yep. Looks like he's bending over now, grabbing those shorts, but a senior who does not want to play his last game here tonight.
Ewing, Langford defending.
Which way are they going to call this?
That's going on Langford.
Well, that could have just as easily been a hook by Ewing. Langford thought so. Well, I think that Lee and Nash have given the bench from Kansas a great lift.
Only 6 bench points for the Blue Devils tonight.
Lee now guarding Reddick, and he's not giving him anything to look at.
Jones steps to the hoop. He's going to the line.
Jones loves that dribble, Jim, and that jump stop and then elevate. It's hard to guard.
We have under 8 minutes to play here in Anaheim. Duke in the dark uniforms. They have now given this foul to Heinrich of Kansas. And that is his 4th. Heinrich having a very tough night here. Made only 1 shot.
And if you're Roy Williams at 7:47, a tie score, you've got to get Heinrich out of the game here and hang in there as long as you can. Want to bring him back with less than 5 minutes, because you sure want his senior leadership on that floor down the stretch drive.
Heinrich on the Kansas side, Reddick on the Duke side. Both struggling from the field, both usually excellent outside shooters. 1 of 2, Jones gives Duke the lead.
Boy, Graves wants that ball inside. He's doing a good job in this second half.
Langford left open. Sanders with the play again.
Duke pushing. Now look for Reddick for the jump shot.
Got the feet set. The 3.
No, he never had the ball in his hands. You can see when you're having that off night, he didn't have the patience to get the ball set in his hands. Collison wide open.
Oh, yes.
Collison, what a job he's doing, and so is Casey Sanders, a senior, right up there. A perfect block on his part.
Sanders, the next time down the floor, commits his 3rd, so Collison has a chance to put Kansas up by 2.
Sanders with 5 blocks against Colorado State, had 2 blocks against Virginia in the ACC tournament, 3 blocks against North Carolina as well, so really doing the job on the defense.
We've had 12 lead changes in this game. 59-57 Kansas. The winner takes on Arizona in the regional final Saturday.
And if you're Duke, you have got to figure out a way to get Reddick open for a shot before this game gets down to the 2-minute mark. He needs an open look, maybe a solid screen or 2.
Jones over Collison. And Graves on the box. Oh, Jones was trying to draw the charge. Lee baseline, shut off. Miles, his old high school teammate, misfiring.
That's not his shot.
Lee saves it right into the arms of Jones. 2 to tie, 3 for the lead.
He got fouled, no call. That Collison really put the bump on him. Langford open, Miles can't find him.
Collison open inside. Miles found him.
Mike Krzyzewski wants a timeout. Let's see if Mike Krzyzewski tries to get a double screen. Lee's on Reddick to get Reddick a shot. Here he comes around the screen.
Sanders tries to give him another screen.
Great job by Lee beating him out there.
Oh, he fought right around it.
Sure did.
Outside Ewing. And Collison, how about the way he's running the floor too?
Collison and Graves. Graves open now down on the inside. He has really picked up his intensity.
Graves.
Oh,
Hit Sanders on the leg and out of bounds.
hit
Kansas
him
ball.
right in the hands. Great hustle by Graves. A little miscommunication on the pass by Collison. But the Kansas big men are just beating Duke down the floor. Throws it back in.
Kansas.
Oh, what a play!
Right up with it.
Great catch. Left-handed put up. Collison, who has not been out of this game yet. You'd figure he'd be wearing down some, but not showing any signs of it.
He has 19 of Kansas's 28 on the half. He's over 30 now for the game. Ewing outside.
That's a
charge. Collison drew it.
It is a one-man wrecking crew. Nick Collison. There is the screen. That is a play that Dean Smith ran 1,000 times for Sam Perkins when Roy Williams was an assistant coach. Big man sets the screen on the player inside, throw it right over the top.
He just pushed off his own teammate, Graves.
Well, Graves' job is to set the screen inside. Dockery in the game, try to pick it up some tempo. Nick Collison, sensational game. This game matches, I think, in regard to what's on the line, the incredible game he had against Texas. He's being guarded by Dante Jones now, giving up a lot of size is Jones.
And that's going the other way. Jones draws it right back. For Collison, just his first foul.
Now there's a case where they have to recognize with Jones on him, let Collison get in the low post.
See if Duke can slow down this 9-1 run for Kansas.
Well, what really helps Roy Williams too in this situation is that Heinrich can stay on that bench with this kind of lead. What a defensive job by Lee. He will not give Reddick any kind of looks.
Under 5 minutes to play. And Reddick driving in.
Nothing there.
Tough shot, and it's Kansas ball.
Ooh, Sanders down right on his back.
They're calling a foul on Graves.
That would be it. Or is that his fourth?
That'd be 4.
Yeah. Didn't see the foul on that particular play. Thompson now going to go into the ball game, I think, for Casey Sanders.
I thought I'd seen a signal that was going the other way.
I thought it was Kansas ball. Oh, now Duhon goes to the line, and it's not his foul shot.
Kansas on a 9-1 run to open up a 6-point lead. Casey Sanders comes to the free throw line.
Poorest free throw shooter that Duke has, 45%.
1-1. He's having a strong showing here tonight. Michael Thompson will be seeing his first action coming in for the shooter. Sanders with 5 blocks here tonight. He makes. He'll bring in Thompson.
But Jim Sanders, in that great run for the national championship, had 8 blocks in 84 minutes he played in that NCAA tournament. So good job on his part.
Well,
and Mike
5
Krzyzewski
tonight.
says you're coming right back in. It was Sanders that said to Mike Dunleavy, remember before the championship game, Mike, I dreamt last night you're going to have the Super Bowl game, of which Dunleavy did. 5 threes.
To beat Arizona in the final, if Duke can somehow find a way to pull this one out, they'd have a rematch of the 2001 championship game here Saturday night. Langford. Uh-oh. That could have been basket interference.
Should have been. Ball was above the cylinder.
Foul called on Michael Thompson. Boy, that looks like Kansas touched it in the cylinder.
That'll put Graves on the line. This ball is going to be in the cylinder, no question about it. That ball should have gone over to Duke. You'll see it right here. Any portion of the ball that is in the cylinder when touched by a player on the offensive team is a violation.
Graves to the line for Kansas, shooting a 1-on-1.
Well, Graves put Kansas in bad shape in the first half, getting in those foul trouble, but he has played a great second half.
Well, Dante Jones with a secure two-handed rebound.
Right now, if you're Duke, you got to figure out a way to free up Redick to get Lee off him. Lee is fighting through every screen.
This Duke team has not made a shot in 5 minutes from the field.
Good defense, man to man.
Jones steps in, rolls off, Thompson over the back. Graves goes back to the line.
Great block out by Graves and a good job defensively by Collison, not falling for Jones's jump stop.
Let's check now the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. Points in the paint. Kansas behind Collison. More than 2-to-1 advantage. You can get complete tournament stats at CBSSportsLine.com or on America Online. Enter the keyword CBS Sports Line. Collison with 31 points and 15 rebounds. That's why points in the paint inside advantage heavily to Kansas tonight. 1-1. Oh, 2 big misses by Graves.
Collison down, so Duke has numbers. Do they go inside quickly? They do.
Go outside. Here's Redick.
Nope.
Billy, look at this. Coach K talking to his freshmen.
One of the great leader-type coaches that's ever been, and telling that freshman, hey, you're a great shooter. Put that shot up. And to give you an example, a great shooter is in the ACC final. He scored 23 points in the last 10 minutes for 30 points. He was 5 of 7 threes against Central Michigan. But tonight he has really had one of those nights you want to forget best you can.
1 of 11 from 3.
Collison again posting up with his back to the basket.
Collison scored Kansas's last 10. Too strong this time. Oh, he was in the right spot. He fouled him.
Right hands, a good no call by the official. Collison right hand, left hand, inside, outside. It's been a one-man wrecking crew.
He has a career high 33. He has the last 12 for Kansas. There's Duhon on the run.
He likes that shot.
Timeout Duke. Thank you, Greg. Heinrich on the drive, gives it up. Collison swatted by Sam. Oh, they say travel first.
He traveled. Heinrich back in the game. Nice move by Roy Williams, keeping him on that bench for an extended period of time. I think, Jim, didn't he go out about the 7 or 8 minute mark?
It was at the 7-minute mark.
Right, able to keep him on that bench for a good 5 minutes with 4 fouls. And now Heinrich is on Redick. A great job by Lee. If anybody's going to get a lot of credit off that bench, it would be Lee on the job he did on Redick. Redick, not a good shot. Continues to struggle. Down 4, you don't want that type of shot. Nobody underneath the rebound.
Collison to the corner to Miles. Under 2 minutes to play.
Starting to utilize a little bit of the clock is Kansas. With 2-possession lead situation here.
Under 10 shot clock. Key possession here. Miles. Off the rim. Sanders secures.
Where do the points come from? Ewing is being guarded by Langford.
Maybe Dante Jones.
Well, he's got now Lee on him, who has really been a defensive terror tonight.
Jones will drive on him. Steps in. Did he travel? Yes.
Took the extra, tried to come to that jump step. Great help by Langford from the weak side.
Ooh, that is a pivotal moment right there. Would have cut it to 2.
Now, do you think that Duke is losing a little confidence in Redick on the pass out since he hasn't been making the shots? Because normally that'd be a kick out. Roy Williams not wanting to get a 5-second call. telling Miles to get moving.
Collison way away from the basket. 10 on the shot clock. Under a minute to play. Miles drives past Ewing. Sanders is going to call it goaltending.
If he had just kept his hands straight up instead of bringing it down into the basket, Jim, that would have been another good block. Now watch how his hand will go down inside the basket right there. And that's what cost him. That ball probably would not have gone in, but he touches it right above the rim.
45 seconds.
Now you got to be thinking 3 if you're Duke here.
Ewing. Langford rejects. Collison comes out with it.
Great play. Duke nowhere to go offensively, and they're going to foul.
It'll be Lee to the line. Double bonus 2 the rest of the way for Kansas.
Well, Roy Williams knows what it feels like to get beat by Duke.
So do Collison and Heinrich.
That's right.
They were freshmen when they met in the second round. Duke and Kansas and Winston-Salem in 2000. Shane Battier that day had a 21-point, 13-rebound effort as the Blue Devils won that hard-fought game. Mike was saying it took so much out of his team, he felt like it contributed to their loss in the Sweet 16 to Florida. One more for Lee.
Jim, I think about Danny Manning, who had 6 blocks and that great game against Duke in the semifinals where Danny Manning put the Kansas team on his back for a national championship. Tonight it's been Collison imitating Danny Manning all the way.
So Mickey Krzyzewski, Coach K's wife and their grandson, and that increases the lead to 7 with 34 seconds. Timeout called by the Jayhawks.
And when you think about this ball game, you had a senior stepping up in Collison. You had a freshman who had a nightmare of a game in Redick.
Well, you think about the way Duke blitzed the start of the second half, and then I remember you saying this is a real critical trip down the floor for Kansas. Finding themselves at the time down 8. They missed a couple of shots but kept the ball alive. And then Collison had in the middle part this half just a takeover stretch.
Well, a couple of things come to my mind. Lee's defense on Redick and anybody else he was on tonight. And then the excellent substitution pattern by Roy Williams, saving Graves, and then Graves came out and really delivered in the second half after being no factor in the first. But it gets down to Duke's inability to continue to hit from the outside, particularly J.J. Redick, their outstanding freshman.
As a team, they've hit only 3 of 13 in the second half from behind the arc. Kansas trying to clamp down.
And they're doing a good job with it.
Jones hits the floater. Timeout Duke. Kansas ball with a 5-point lead. 24 seconds left here in Anaheim.
I thought Thompson would go into the ball game to foul Collison if they could.
Stolen away. It's Dockery for Duke. Puts up the shot. Jones gets it back off the glass down to 3 with 18 seconds. What a huge play by the freshman Dockery. We'll need another steal or a quick foul, and it's Miles going to the line for 2.
Dockery was quick, and if you're Kansas, you want to get that ball up the floor, figuring that Duke is going to press everybody on that half of the court. Maybe go long with one. Great rebound by Sanders to keep that alive for Jones.
What a play, though, by Dockery. 68-65, Kansas. Nick Collison with 33 of the Jayhawks' 68. 2 shots for Miles.
Top free throw shooter on this team on the line at 75%. Nice.
Daniel Ewing in for Dockery.
For young players that want to watch and copy a free throw style, that was it. Miles stayed right on the line, never backed up, kept his follow through totally complete until that ball went through the net.
One of 2, that's all. Tipped around Duhan. Quick 2, or do they go for the 3? They got Jones slicing
it. For 2.
Oh, he misses the layup. Ewing tips it out. Redick, floater. Collison is there for Kansas. And last touch by the Jayhawks, but this one is over.
Roy Williams says no foul. And Redick, and obviously that was a desperation shot, but adds to his totals tonight that nobody would believe, looking at one of the best pure shooters we've seen him come into college basketball in a long time.
And that's it. The Jayhawks have done it. Kansas is moving on to the regional final. They have defeated Duke tonight 69-65.